Hello, my friends. Welcome back to a brand new short interview that we've got thanks to a job we did on last week at the time of recording because we were fortunate enough to run into, I think I've got their business card here somewhere. There we go. These guys from Feel Good morning show, lovely guys on the radio. They're giving me an opportunity to talk about what we do and how we help clients. So in theory,
and as I said at the top of the show, everybody, guest on the show today is Carlton Brunton. Now then, we've got a lovely link here with our regular Monday weekly presenter, Joy Amonrat. As you all know, Joy owns, runs, manages one of her businesses, which is Siam Smile, and that's over in Amesbury. Now, recently, Carlton's completed some video work for Joy, and this is how we met up. I met up with him while he was sort of filming at the restaurant. I had a bit of a chat and thought, how about coming on the show and tell us about it, what you do. So, it's Carlton Brunton from Brunton Media. Hi, Carlton, you're right.
I'm very well. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, good. Nice to chat with you, mate, again after. Did you have a good time with Joy Amonrat at Siam Smile?
Yeah, no, of course.
Project, yeah?
No, of course. I mean, just to give your audience some context, Joy reached out to me about, creating a piece specifically for the restaurant to sort of showcase what she does, how she does it, and why she's unique. And for me, this is of course a job that we jumped at the opportunity to do. So firstly, obviously, thank you to her, because if it wasn't for her inviting us to do that job, then we wouldn't be in this opportunity to talk to you guys as well. So
yeah, sure, brilliant. Right, first off then, Carlton, we're going to be chatting about Brunton Media. Let's start off with where you're based.
So we're based down in Salisbury, but we do cover most of the south of the UK. So if you can think of just like 3 hours drive or so, we can basically cover that in a day. And of course we can cover further afield, but that's where things get slightly more complicated because obviously we need to travel up, etc., etc.
Yeah. And all the standard questions of who, what, where, why, and when, etc. We've got the who with yourself, and we've got the where. What is it that Brunton Media does? How would you describe your business and services, Carlton?
Absolutely. So Brunton Media specifically is a video marketing company that specialises in creating confidence through the power of video that helps businesses and brands articulate themselves either on a consistent basis or through a specific sector or a specific seasonal objective that we'll look at. So in Joy's case, for example, I use her as the example here. She was looking to highlight specifically how she stands out in what she does and how to add a very visual feel to her restaurant, and obviously to then attract some new custom, which is always the objective when we look to create something like the promotional video we were filming when we first met.
Yeah, so let's look at where they go then. So that's the services there. It's the videos and works with businesses, service, or anybody who's interested in that. By the way, everybody, when we put the recorded chat up, we will put the contacts in for Brunton Media in the box below. But as I always say, get a pen and a piece of paper now ready if you're going to be interested, all right? Now, when it goes out then, Carl, and you finish the product, is it the sort of thing that goes on to what we sort of call all media platforms?
Yeah. So that really depends on what the initial kind of objective was for the project. So we've done some projects, for example, where we're creating a form of advertising creative, which is used for Google advertising or Facebook advertising or even Instagram advertising or maybe even LinkedIn advertising. In Joy's case, the specific plan at the moment is to embed the final video into her website and also then post it across social media. So that would be, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, etc. But more specifically for her, to target a specific sector of Facebook groups, to use it as a piece of advertising to, obviously, as I said earlier, showcase what she can do, but also kind of go directly to consumer in that regard, and hopefully be part of that purchasing decision making process that we all go through on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, sure. So when you're approaching a business, Carl, how do you look at it? Do you go along have a look around, get a flavour for it, and sort of get a feel for the thing yourself. And then are you applying your own sort of creative interpretation on what that service is, and why basically why anybody should use it, or why anybody can buy from anybody? It's a difficult world, and I think it's. I'm after here how you sort of come at it from the creative side. Yeah.
The honest truth there, that's kind of down to what the objective for the client is really looking for. In that regard. So it's quite, I'll use a general case, but of course this will be subjective depending on what the client's specifically looking to use. But in an awareness campaign, which is what we've done for Joy, that's really to give an introduction, and for her to give us a video she can use as leverage to say, look, this is a very visual thing, a very appealing look at a taste perhaps of what she could offer as a restaurant that might lead into people potentially, going and trying, or potentially, and this is not something we've discussed with Joy necessarily at the moment because the video is in draft stages at the time of recording, but we could also attach a offer or some other form of call to action onto that video that would then of course lead potentially people into trying her product and her service necessarily, and then that could lead, and what we're trying to do here is for her case specifically, is we're trying to get people to build their habits. So when they think, oh yeah, let's get a takeaway as a treat, or oh let's potentially look at getting a takeaway out or maybe eating out, etc., they're more likely to then choose Joy over another member of competition because in that regard.
Good word there, competition. You've got to stand out from the others as well. So with the client then, as we sort of call it, you sit down with them, have a chat, find out what it is that they want to do. Because you find, I think, don't you agree, that people who own businesses or services tend to be a little bit blinkered. They don't perhaps see it from the buyer's point of view. You know what I mean? It's their own little baby, their own little sort of project that they've nurtured and developed. And when it comes to putting it out there, you can help with that. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
With your input, you're seeing it from a prospective client's point of view there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think it's really important to mention that, business owners of any size, so obviously we deal with people who are 5-6 directors large, up to 300 employees, 400 employees, all the way down to maybe 10 or 15 or even lower than that. We've also worked with some solo entrepreneurs. I think it's important for maybe your listeners who aren't business owners to appreciate that business owners as a whole, they have so many plates to spin. So something that might seem obvious to just the passerby or etc. can, in theory, unfortunately be missed by just the amount that's on that business owner's plate in regards to what their access is, or what they're looking to do, or how they're looking to scale, or potentially if they're running multiple businesses, how it could be quite effective, or they could potentially miss something. So one of our roles is to come in and potentially point out some what could be perceived as obvious realities, but the job for us is to make sure very clearly, okay, well, if we're going to spend money on a production, or we're going to look to do some marketing, or we're going to look to do some video content, or a combination of advertising as a whole, what is the real reason why we're doing that, right? What's the real return on that time and that investment of energy and money and resources, etc.? What are we looking to, where does it sit in the overarching strategy of marketing as well? But also, what's the real kind of key performance indicator that we're looking for to make sure that the video is going to do the job we need it to do, or the piece of advertising, or the campaign, etc., depending on what we're doing.
Yeah, so you think the whole thing through. That's what the most important bit is, isn't it? Particularly, you're looking at using a lot of the key words in there, like objectives, etc. And at the end of it, it's to get more bums on seats, isn't it?
In a nutshell, that's why everyone does marketing.
Yeah, sure. Do you, when we're coming to video, are you suggesting a length of time for that particular video, whether it's 1 minute, 2 minutes? So that's you discussed that at the beginning.
Again, it's something which we would discuss when we understand the objective. So in some cases, it would be, let's do some sit-down explainer videos that could be anywhere from 1 minute up to 20. If it's a promotional piece like Joy's was, for example, then it would be probably closer to, you know, looking at 90 seconds or so, there or thereabouts. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I mean, there's been lots of studies that show that unfortunately our attention span is less than a goldfish now, which is always a fun fact I like to throw in there. But also that, you know, we are looking and we're mostly going to distribute these on social media platforms, and to be in the most efficient or most effective use of those platforms, we have to confide or look at what the you know, concerns or requirements of those platforms are, and in most cases they don't want videos longer than 90 seconds or so.
Yeah. Unlike TikTok, which obviously likes to have them a little bit longer, doesn't it? And when you think of advertising anyway, your television advertising between the program, 1 minute, it's so expensive for TV advertising, would say anyway. They tend to be a 30-second or a 1 minute ad maximum, isn't it? So you've got to get that message across, sharp and pacey, but also memorable, isn't it? That's the thing. Got to remember it afterwards.
Absolutely. And again, I think it comes back to, you know, is it a piece of awareness content? E.g., are we just introducing you to the brand as a reminder so that brand is the top of mind for that service? Or are we trying to do a bit of education or a bit of what we would describe in the marketing world as nurture? So we're trying to nurture that person into potentially building more know, like, or trust with their target, with that business. So in the business's case, it may be with a target consumer or another business, but for the consumer's case, it would obviously be building that trust with that business, so they're more likely to potentially spend some money with them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well thought out indeed, Brunton Media. Now then, Carlton, as we said, like if anybody is interested in that, are you easy to talk to? Can we get hold of you? So,
absolutely.
How does anybody do it? How do we get hold of you, Carlton? Or
So,
how does the client interested get in?
Yeah, so one of the easiest ways is obviously reaching out via social media. I would be quite a large hypocrite if I wasn't using it myself. So, you know, that's just Brunton Media everywhere. We're on every single social media platform, but the best place if anyone is looking for more information or does want to book a call with me specifically, just head to www.bruntonmedia.com.
BruntonMedia.com. I've just written it down as you've spoken to it. Nice and quick and easy. Brunton, that of course is Brunton, and then media.com. And then you can arrange an initial chat with people. Yeah, yes. Obviously you can visit people at their businesses. Is that the best way to do it? Go and see them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I say, it kind of depends on the business and depends on what the business owner is really looking to do. But I've deliberately designed the website so that it's as easy for potential clients or prospects to book in a call with me initially. So what we normally do is we jump on a Zoom call initially to have a conversation about what potentially they're looking to do, and you know, to discuss how we work, discuss what they're looking to do, and see if firstly we're the right fit for them and vice versa. And then, as I say, then I can obviously outline potentially pricing and other strategies that we would potentially use to hopefully move closer to that client's objective.
Yeah, and obviously help people with their budgets. That's another thing, is people say, how much is it, sort of thing, but that's all something you could discuss in the early stages, isn't it? And
absolutely.
Find out what that client needs, what it is they want to do within that budget as well. And obviously, from your point of view, produce a good result. Can people see you work there as well?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we post across social media pretty regularly, whether that's pieces of content, me talking about why to use video, how to use video, etc. But then, of course, also we showcase our work and then also insights into our productions as well. But if you're looking directly for just our show work, our show reel is at the top of our video production page or our video project page on the website. So that would be one of the best places to check to see our work.
BruntonMedia.com, and no doubt, I think every Monday you're going to get a big shout out from our Joy, who hopefully is going to be delighted with your work, and we of course will be promoting that for Joy, and of course yourself, Carlton.
That's very kind. Thank you so much.
Yeah, brilliant. Time caught us up, mate. We have to crack on now.